The construction sector has the largest number of registered occupational cancers. So as an industry, it really needs to address why it has all these cancers and how to reduce those. So anti-idling is a starting point for reducing exposure to black carbon as a known carcinogenic. When you're idling machines, you're producing a lot of exhaust emissions. And those emissions are a mixture of gases and vapours and particles. And these really impact the health of the workers and the people that live and work around the construction sites. We're seeing maybe 40,000 people a year in the UK, and up maybe 9,600 of those in London dying from poor air pollution. Quite often we're seeing machines idling for up to 60% of their daily activity. And then this is producing those emissions that are really impacting the health of the workers in the machines and working around the machines. Even the cleanest machines that are working on the site, the after exhaust technology that they have on them to take these toxic gases and particles out of them only kick in at certain temperatures. When the machine's idling, the engine itself doesn't come up to the temperature for that after exhaust technology to work. So often the machine idling is also the dirtiest phase in its cycle. We need to be addressing fossil fuel combustion as a whole and looking at innovation that's coming through, moving to electric tools and moving to just cleaner machinery generally.
Idling kind of represents essential waste of resources. Even with very good plant, and we have stage 5 plant on the site, you're obviously giving off unnecessary particulates, you're giving off nitrous oxides and things which particularly affect human health, which is a serious issue, particularly in urban locations. There's the cost, and obviously there's the carbon. Obviously we're striving to obviously reduce the carbon as much as we possibly can. It's about behavioural change. It needs to be a natural instinct. When we're not doing works with plant or equipment, we switch off the engine, we stop wasting fuel, we stop emitting carbon.
I've been plant operator for Lynch for the last 20 years, yes? And there is nothing better when you turn off engine on that machine, you relax your ears from that noise, vibration from that engine. To reduce carbon footprint and emissions, we have to work together. You can't achieve this just with one operator, yes? We have to work with site operatives, with our customers, with the clients. There is things that can be done to reduce the idling. When the engine is running, the clock is ticking. More hours on machine, more service required. When the machine is that service, basically you need to bring a service team here. So that's, more pollution, more standing down time. And the more hours on a machine, the less of value on the plant, for example, when they change the plant every 3 years. We brief the operators, we learn them that, if we don't work right way, or if we don't look at the environment, next generation, they will not have cleaner air.
Idling is an issue not just for Lynch, it's an issue for the client, it's an issue for the community where we work at. For example, right now we're in HS2, so I think about all the people around us, people that work in this area, children that go to schools around these areas. So it's about, every time you idle, you have to think about the operator, how it affects his health, but also the exhaust fumes and how it affects the rest of us that are being affected by the plant idling. Telematics data has actually been around for a couple of years already, but I like the fact that finally we are using it on site. So it's about when you have this data, when you have all these technologies, making sure everybody knows how to utilize it to make the work more efficient and to increase productivity on site. If you combine not just the data, but you combine operator training, you combine collaborative data transparency, so sharing data together, yes, you can get to zero. But it has to be a combination with, we have to work with our competitors, we have to work with you, with your system, so combining the right technology, right training, right machines, so having greener plant as well. And for example, for Lynch, we have the buying power. So it is in our hands to make sure we buy the greenest machine. So it's a combination of many different factors, we can get to zero.
Before we started the exercise, we were idling 51% of the time. We launched the initiative and it went from 51% of the time to 17% of the time, which equates to 1,600 hours less idling in a month, which was about £3,500 saved in a single month. So the real thing that we've done differently is ultimately collected all the data from the different OEMs into a single database to create a fuel efficiency report, and then from each project, the driver that reduced idling the most, we award them with a voucher. We've been doing this for about 18 months, and overall we've reduced our fuel consumption by about 100,000 litres.
Based on the sheer size and scale of HS2, we have a real opportunity to change how the construction industry works. We will eliminate diesel on this project across all of our sites by 2029. It's really key that we can showcase on HS2 the material impact that something like this will have, that these sorts of standards, influences, education and strategies can be adopted by the wider construction industry, really aimed at decarbonising construction across the UK.